Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is your host, Patrick Lee. It's time for Midweek Motivation Live. Hey, friends, welcome back to the show. Today's podcast, we want to come together, like we do every Wednesday, 10 o'clock, to fuel up, lift up, and push forward to help us get over hump day, get through the middle of the week, the remaining part of the week. People already tuning in to watch the show. I like that, love that. It's awesome. I'm Patrick Lee, your host. Today, we're going to talk about something powerful, not just getting yourself motivated, but actually how we motivate others. Um, Creating the same spark that we are always trying to create in ourselves is great. But how do we ignite that spark in other people? Because let's be honest, life gets better when we're surrounded by inspired, driven, motivated people. Hopefully, people that we know, love, and trust that are in our circle that we have helped influence and they help influence us, right? It's always better to be in an environment full of people like that, right? And that's what we want to try to help you do today. When you know how to bring that out in other people, you don't just change their day, you can change their life forever, right? I recently watched an episode um, from Growth Day, and some of you may have heard of Growth Day. Ed Milet, is one of my motivation homies. I guess you can say that. Brennan Burchard, Lewis Howes, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar. There's so many people, but Brendan Burchard, I've seen him speak personally, and along with Ed Milet and other people, and he's created a website. We're not sponsored by them, called Growth Day, and I will actually go to Growth Day, and it helps me grow myself as well. And probably over a year ago, I was watching one of Brendan Burchard's one of his episodes on growth and how to ignite a spark in others. And I'm going to be pulling some content from that today, and of course, putting the Patrick Lee spin on it as I do, because as other people help grow me, I feel like I can turn around and help grow you and so into you as well. And that's the goal today. Hello, Miss Gina. Hello, Miss Mary. Good to see so many of you already tuning in live and around the world to watch Midweek Motivation Live. Now on all major podcast platforms, wherever you go, you know the spiel. Wherever you go to consume your podcast and live motivational content, you can find Midweek Motivation Live with Patrick Lee, whether you're on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, or on the Midweek Motivation Live YouTube channel. You can find Midweek Motivation Live with Patrick Lee. Search by it with that name, Midweek Motivation Live with Patrick Lee. Leave us a review if you're on YouTube, on that YouTube channel. Click on the bell to get notifications activated and subscribe to the channel. That channel, we want to continue to grow that platform as well. So, like I said, as we get into this, I was watching this and I watched Brendan Burchard. He's a mild mannered fella, but he can get excited. He's not a big guy. He's not a muscle head like a lot of people are that are in the motivational space. And he's just an inspiring guy. His story is kind of a rags to riches, kind of a little guy, not a wealthy guy when he was very young. And a lot of things happened in his life that has changed how he looks at things, his perspective on things, much as in the way that it's happened to me as well. So I kind of connect with this guy. And these are some of the things that I was able to take from that, and I want to help to lay these out for you today. The way he laid out 4 strategies for helping inspire others. I have changed some of them. And a couple of these I believe are actually probably more important in today's day and age, the way that we relate to people. And I hope that these bless you. As I listened to them then, and I recently went back and recapped them, I was thinking to myself, these are simple, but they're game changers. And if they will help me as much as they did me in my old crazy mind, sometimes I believe they will help in you. So they'll help you as well. So I want to walk you through each one of these in my own words with a little extra Patrick Lee flavor, Midweek Motivation Live flavor. That. And as we jump into these, I do want to remind you, of course, that this is Midweek Motivation Live with Patrick Lee. I do own the Patrick Lee Group. That, of course, is our name and motto up on the screen behind me, the Patrick Lee Group, people first, purpose driven. And if I could add to that, it's integrity above all. And that is what we try to strive for here at the Patrick Lee Group. I actually have some merch back here on some Patrick Lee merch. I'm wearing one of my Patrick Lee Group shirts today. And someone who likes, loves, and shares the show today is actually going to get a Patrick Lee hat, Patrick Lee Group hat sent to them. Maybe hand delivered if you're local, but for sure mailed out if you're not local. Send me your name and address. I will pick somebody from the people that share the show this week, and we'll be sending them a Patrick Lee Group golf hat. Cool, cool, cool. So anyway, as we get into this, I want to walk you through each one of these with my own flavor added so you can put them into action immediately. Why you must change to grow. Number one, invite participation. A hands-on approach helps develop others. One of the fastest ways to light a fire in someone is to make them feel like they're part of the mission, not just a bystander. So many times we try to lead and motivate other people by just doing it and telling them what to do. And that's not always the best way to do that. If they feel like a bystander, they're going to be less apt to jump in and become hands-on. Motivation grows in environments where people are invited to contribute their thoughts, their ideas, and their creativity to the common goal. When you ask someone's opinion or invite them to help shape the plan, shape the vision, you're saying your input matters. You matter, and that's very powerful. Too many times we get off of that and we make people feel less than, like they're just a laborer. And if that's the mindset that they're in, it's going to be very hard to motivate or inspire, right? Inspiration is the birthplace of motivation. We need someone to be inspired to a position, inspired by something, till we can bring them to a position of motivating them to do what we were inspired to do, right? So motivation grows in that environment where we invite people to contribute, to think for a minute, and to add to the vision. Your input matters. Here's the difference. If people feel like they're just being told what to do, or their opinion doesn't matter, they might do it, but not with their whole heart. And when they feel like they're building it with you, that game changes, as opposed to building something for you. How many of you have ever been part of a multi-level marketing company? Probably everyone watching the show is currently, or has been in the past, part of a multi-level marketing company. And at the end of the day, it seems like as you work for these companies, you are helping the people at the top build their dreams. And they all claim that they're helping the people at the bottom build their dreams, but unfortunately, that's not always the case. If you are building someone else's dream, it's a lot harder for you to be involved, to be inspired to do it with your whole heart. If you don't help that person start to see immediate results, get immediate gratification for their efforts, it's going to be harder to help them stay or remain inspired and motivated, right? They have to feel like they're building it with you. And when they do, that becomes the game changer. Suddenly there's ownership. There's there's pride. They have skin in the game, right? That's what we used to call it, skin in the game. Drinking some coffee from my Fire Slice Brick Oven Pizzeria today, coffee cup, one of my favorite cups. Started talking so fast, got a little scratchy throat, right? In leadership, in friendship, even in our families, participation fuels engagement. A simple question like, what do you think we should try, can easily open the door to conversation, right? So it can lock energy that person may have that we need to help us create that motivation to get into that spirit of synergy, right? When someone helps shape the plan and actually adds good ideas and good insight, they fight along with you to see that succeed. It's not just participation, that's partnership, which is very important. Strategy number 2, build confidence to fuel confidence. I'm going to say that again. This one is a writer downer. Build confidence to fuel confidence. It's easier to do something if you know how to do it. How many of you have ever been told to do something and maybe told how to do something, but never shown how to do something? It's a little different, right? If you don't have an idea of how to do something, it's a lot harder for you to go out and build it, to get involved doing it, right? Confidence doesn't appear out of thin air. It's built brick by brick through moments of competence, learning. When someone knows they have skill or a little bit of education on how to do something, a little bit of knowledge or tools to tackle a challenge, they feel capable of taking it on. And that capability drives their motivation, which is what we're trying to do. If you want to inspire someone, help them get good at what they need to do. Proper training is key. I hear so many times recently, as a matter of fact, this week, from people that have succeeded and people that have failed. And it was because of a lack of training. I have been in personal instances with friends and family members that have told me stories of people they've worked with that have lost their jobs for breaking rules they didn't even know existed, right? For people that failed in some areas of jobs of their job or their career, and they were never trained on how to do the job properly in the first place. And at the beginning of that career or that job or that task they were given, they were told how to do it and that they would have training on how to do it. And they were thrown into these positions that they didn't know how to do. And the owners, the builders, the leaders basically gave them a sink or swim scenario. And it's like, okay, I'm going to throw you in here and this is what you need to do. And this is what I expect of you. But they were never trained how to do that. If you want to inspire somebody, you have to help them get good at what they need to do. Don't blame them if they come up with poor results on a project or achieving a goal when you never told them how to do it to begin with. You may hire somebody based on a set of skills. Yes, I have criteria. Do you have an education in this? Do you have a degree in this? Yes. Is this job, this skill, or this task exactly in line with what that person's degree is or that person's job experience is? Wonderful. If it is, that's easier to expect that out of them. They're trained to do it. But if it's not, if there are variables that there's no way they can know, how can you blame that person for failing if you never told them how to do the job? That might mean offering training, education, sharing resources with that person, giving them a practice run, right? When we're training someone, we do it and let them watch, right? What do we do next? We do it with them. Then the next thing we do is what? We let them do it while we watch and we offer critique, criticism, and praise. And then on the fourth step of that is they're off and running doing it themselves. And if you don't do it in that manner, how can you blame that person for not being radically successful in the things that we want them to do, right? Give them those practice runs, give them the training. Just be the encouraging voice alongside of them going, yes, yes, that's how you do it. Make some course corrections along the way if you have to, but let them know that they're doing what they need to be doing. The more equipped they feel, the bolder and faster they will act. Here's the beautiful loop around that. Competence builds confidence. It just does. And confidence pushes people to take more action, which builds even more competence as they work, as they move forward, they grow, they learn, they adapt. It's like stacking wood on a fire. It just keeps growing. It catches fire a little bit at the beginning, right? But then as it catches on, it just grows and grows and grows. And soon you have a raging fire. So don't just say, you've got this, I believe in you. Show them how they've got this. Show them what they're doing that's right. Walk them through the steps until they can stand on their own 2 feet, right? That's just what we need to do. Good. John, Pete, good to see you guys watching. Cody says it's Happy Left-Handers Day. I'm an ambidextrous guy. Candace, my daughter, is a lefty, slightly ambidextrous, but happy Left-Handers Day from Midweek Motivation Live. Stretch. I love the comments. That's awesome. Congratulations, John. I'm glad you're getting so much better after your surgery. Strategy number 3, celebrate effort and progress. Even small steps are still steps. Too many people only celebrate when the trophy is in their hand, But the truth is, the journey needs encouragement just as much as the destination. Say that again. The journey needs encouragement just as much as the destination. Recognizing our effort, whether the outcome is perfect or not, whether it's messy or practiced, it keeps people going in that messy middle area where most people give up, right? They think I may think I'm going in the right direction. I think I might be doing some things right, but I'm not sure. Well, if we don't come alongside of them and celebrate the successes they've already had or the progress that they've already made and give them that encouragement, that attaboy, that pat on the back that, hey, you're doing a good job. Keep up this. I like what you're doing. I like what I'm seeing here. If we don't do that, they get in that space where they get in their head and they feel like they're not making any progress and they might as well quit. And that's what we don't want, right? Progress is often invisible to the person who's doing the work. They don't understand how far they've come from the beginning. And that's where we come in. When we say, I'm proud of how hard you're working, that's wonderful. Maybe we do need to make that little course correction or correct some of their attitudes, or not attitudes, their actions. But when we say, I'm proud of how hard you're working, let's do this now, that lets them know, hey, I'm working hard. Maybe I'm going in the right direction, and that gives them that reassurance that that competence is building, and that confidence allows them to keep moving forward. When we say, that was such a creative way you handled this one thing, I like how you figured that out, that builds confidence, right? You're giving them fuel for the next critical steps in the journey in building our goal, right? Yes, ma'am, Mary. Sometimes you don't get that. Amen. That's right. And unfortunately, when we don't get that, that's when a lot of miscommunication happens. When people start developing a bad attitude, and eventually then it turns into, we've gone away from, right, the opposite side of this is we've gotten away from inspiration and motivation, and now we're into discipline and correction, and that's not where we want to be. When I used to run my bakeries, and I managed multiple bakeries for supermarket chains in the past, bakeries that had 6 people, bakeries that had over 80 people. When I was running one company, actually here locally, I had 44 people in one bakery, and I had nearly 80 in a bakery and a tortilleria factory. If you counted the multiple locations that we provided all the product to, and my truck drivers delivered to all of the other bakeries in town for a chain that was called Furs, that later became the Food Emporium, and then they eventually sold out when the wall in Germany came down. So I ran that bakery in nearly 80 people, and I seldom had to have a corrective interview, which is what we called them. It used to be in the day that someone did something wrong, you just go write them up. You tell them off, and then you go write them up, right? And some of that was before Jesus, some of that was with Jesus, and unfortunately, correction happens. But those were never the interviews or the meetings that we enjoyed having. And I was much smaller and actually more timid. And many of the times I was managing people much older than me with a lot of experience. But it was never their fault if I could look in the mirror and say, I'm having to have this corrective interview, and I am going to write them up. But I had to have that self check, right? The checkup from the neck up, and say, did I properly train this person? And if I didn't, then I would actually go to my superior, my boss, and say, I think I was going to write this person up, but I think I'm going to forego that. I think we're going to pass on that. And we're just going to do a little conversation here and help them get back on track. And we're going to go and apply more training. And at the end of the day, that was a better outcome because I actually showed a little grace, a little mercy, and went back and trained them better. Their confidence level grew, and they go on to become successful people, right? And that's happened in many areas in my life, and probably in your life too. We can count on usually one or two hands the great successes that we've had in training other people. And unfortunately, there are a lot of times that there are people that come and go in our lives, our businesses, and our jobs that just don't make it. And you try to help them, you try to motivate and inspire, and they just will not grow. They refuse to grow themselves, to take the learning, and they have a negative attitude, and they just don't make it. Unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. And we're constantly trying to become better and better leaders, better speakers, better trainers and educators, better motivators. But that's where all of you come in. People that watch, like, love, share the show. People that are actively trying to grow themselves. And hopefully we can start a spark that grows and turns into that big fire, lets that fire grow, right? When we come along and help that person grow. I do this in real estate frequently. I do it with new agents all the time, especially. I had a long conversation with one of my agents last night who's talking about growing a team. Many people that want to come and work with them. And one of the things that I told this agent in the very beginning years ago, I said, you can either become one of two things. You can either become a student of real estate and spend all of your time learning, and you will know everything and you will seldom go out and make any money. Or you can become immersed in the business of buying and selling real estate. Come alongside me and watch me do it, and I'll show you how to make money. So do you want to make money, or do you just want to be educated? She goes, well, I want to make money first while I'm getting educated. I said, let's go. She hit the ground running, and she's a very successful agent. We had this conversation yesterday, and it's just like, well, if we decide to do this and we want to grow, will you come and train? I said, do you want me to train them on it? She laughed. Do you want me to give them an education, or do we want to teach them how to be successful quickly? And it's a combination of both, right? But you have to get the new agent in. They need to get a transaction under their belt quickly, or they're going to feel like it's never going to happen. So you have to kind of like prime the pump when you're pumping water out of the ground. You have to pour water in to get water out, and that's priming the pump. Many of you know that fact of life. So we have to do that with new people. We don't want them to come in, get a little education, and then feel like they're failing because they haven't gotten a deal yet, right? They haven't closed a deal. You have to start making them successful right away so they can see a little bit of growth. So I remind them, look how much you've learned this month. Even if you haven't done a deal, let's look at what you've learned on contracts. Let's look at how many phone calls you've made. Let's look at how many conversations you actually had that can lead to business in the future. Look at the as compared to day one. Progress is something that's always, and it keeps them right. And they want to give you the motivation that you desire. Be a role model. No one is going to follow you if you don't exhibit any of the traits you are teaching. You can't expect people to be motivated by your words alone. They're watching your life. Everyone is watching your life, whether you believe it or not. What they see in you is more powerful than what they hear from you. Being a role model doesn't mean pretending to be perfect. I don't have the answers to everything. I glean a lot of my knowledge from other people that help me grow, right? It means I'm showing up authentically. I'm letting people see who I am, that I do have a work ethic. I do have a little bit of knowledge. I have values. And yes, I even have struggles. And I know that you do too. And it's okay. When you're open about the grind, about the early mornings, sometimes the setbacks in life, the deals that fall through. When you let people see those, the struggles and some of the lessons we learned when we didn't hit a goal, we didn't achieve a level that we wanted to achieve. We can't let that knock us out of the game, right? We have to let people see that we're human, but that we pick ourselves up, we dust ourselves off, and we apply what we've learned. If we've had a setback, the best thing to do is just go get some new knowledge, right? Gain more confidence, rebuild your confidence, and get back in the game. That's what we need to do, right? Then we become relatable to other people when we do that. And relatability is inspiring and motivating to others. Think about it. Would you rather follow someone who only posts their highlight reel? I don't. And it drives me nuts. All some people do in their career is post winning, so much winning. All I do is win, win, win. And I'm like, okay, do you never ever have any setbacks? Are you a real person, or do you only win? Right? I've learned this statement years ago. One of two things happens: either I win or I learn. And my struggles are when I'm learning. Sometimes I learn from how I win, but a lot of times I learn when I lose. And some of those are the best lessons. A good loser has the potential to become an amazing winner, right? Your transparency will give others permission to believe that if they have struggles also, it's okay. They can relate to you when you have some struggles too. And then when they have been given the opportunity for them to add to, right, to share their thoughts and opinions and their labor, then they can also share in the winning, right? You're not just telling them what's possible, you're showing them what's possible when you become living proof of what you say. And I think that that's really, really important. You can show them, hey, here is what I was trying to do. Here's what I was trying to show you to do. And here is where I think we stumbled. But here's how we got back up. And here's what I think we need to do to keep going. And sometimes we go back to what is that motivation? Here is why we need to keep going, because here's the goal, right? We redefine the goal, re-motivate, give more training, which builds the competence, and then it reignites that spark of confidence. And then people can get on moving down the road. So here's a challenge for you this week. This is one of the things I would like to challenge you to do. I'd like for you to take one of these 4 strategies. Number 1, invite participation. Show somebody how to do something and see if you can teach them how to do it well. Strategy 2, build competence in someone. Give them a little education about something and see if they can become a self-starter. Maybe strategy 3, show somebody, celebrate some effort that someone has made or some progress. Celebrate a small goal that someone you know has achieved this week. Maybe you send them a card, send them a gift card for a cup of coffee or something, or just give them a phone call or a text and say, hey, I saw you this week and I saw where you improved in such and such an area. And I just wanted to say congratulations. Good for you. I have a habit of doing that on social media a lot. Someone has a birthday, a celebration, they achieved a goal, and they're competitors of mine. That's wonderful. I'll still go in there and say, hey, congratulations on that listing. Congratulations on selling that house. Congratulations on opening up your new business. I'm so proud of you. And those are the little things that we do that help them know they can be successful too, and that we're watching them. We're rooting for them. We're cheering them on. So that's my challenge this week. Pick one of these strategies, put it into action with someone in your life too. Invite them to contribute to a project. Teach them something new to boost their confidence. Celebrate a small win they're having, or simply let them see that you are also walking the talk. You might be surprised. Your words and actions this week could be the very thing that reignites someone's belief in themselves. And that's the kind of ripple effect we need more of in this life. I appreciate you guys this week coming back to watch Midweek Motivation Live each and every week, liking, loving, sharing the show. Friends, thank you for hanging out with me today on Midweek Motivation Live. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs a boost. And remember, motivation is contagious, right? Courage begins outside your comfort zone. You've got to get outside that comfort zone to go out there and show other people that they can do it too. Be the spark. Keep the fire going. And as always, cannot forget this. Don't forget that maybe you need a little motivation in life. Maybe you've been feeling a little down and you need a little pep in your step. You need a little pick me up. Maybe you need to elevate your health. One of the best ways to do that is through the use of Stellar products. Midweek Motivation Live, you guys know, many of you that watch the show know, the show is now sponsored by Stellar. You can go to www.getstellar.com. Stellar CBD products elevate your wellness. I have a plethora of products with me that I keep around me. This one I talk about a lot is the Energy and Focus mushroom gummies loaded with lion's mane, B12, ginseng. They're gluten-free. We also have gel caps. These are an appetite suppressant that help you. Many people have been messaging me this week and asking if we have tinctures. And we do. This is the Stellar AI Recovery CBD tincture. You can take this before or after physical activity, and it helps you recover very quickly. We also do have standard CBD products. This is a 750 milligram total cannabinoid regular CBD gummy. These are GMO-free, gluten-free, vegan products, and these 1 or 2 gummies a day. They taste great. They don't taste like chemicals like a lot of other products you may have tried in the past. These are all 0.003 THC or less, perfectly legal to take, very healthy, good for you. If you would like to buy any Stellar products, you can use my code Patrick20. Go to www.getstellar.com and use the code Patrick20, all caps, Patrick20. Get 20% off all orders of Stellar CBD products. As always, the world makes room for the driven. The world makes room for those who try to help others. The world makes room for those who try to motivate others and who are willing to cast that little spark, start that little spark of motivation and inspiration into others. I appreciate each and every one of you coming to the show today. Thank you, Cody, Gina, Mary, John, all of you who have been watching, and those of you watching online as well. I will see you again next week. I love you. Bye-bye.